Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. My name's Jack. Today we are doing another live stream build, and we got pretty lucky. We managed to pick up the Guardians of the Galaxy sets, and I'm doing Aisha's Revenge today, but we also did get the Ravager Attack set, and we also did get the big one. We got the Milano, the new Milano set. This one's coming out as an official review episode tomorrow along with LEGO news, so look forward to that. And I just really like Yandu, so I wanted to build this one first. So, anyways, let me get back onto here, make sure the stream is set up properly, hope everything is okay. So anyways, yeah, let's get this thing going through right now. Let's see. Oops, I dropped this thing. I believe this is a $30 set. I'm not sure what the euro or pound price is right now. I had the description information, kind of got deleted. But anyways, it's a $30 US set. Comes with Aisha. We don't exactly know who this villain is yet, but it's Aisha's Revenge, and it looks like they're fighting her. So that's the bad guy or the bad girl. And then Yandu, Star-Lord, and Baby Groot. It just says Groot on the box, but this is Baby Groot. Everybody calls him Baby Groot. In fact, I think that's what they call him, like, in the movie. So, anyways, whoa, there's a jet flying over. I don't know if you guys can hear that in the background. But anyways, boom. Let me switch it down to this camera shot. I hope you guys can see that. Let's get the tags open, and maybe I'll move the mouse out of the way. All right, so here it comes. Boom. This set is, by the way, set number 76080, and it has 326 pieces. I saw that on the box, I'm guessing. Hold on, 326. Is it 326? It is 323. 323 pieces. I almost got it right. So it's not a bad part to price ratio. It is slightly above average, and considering it comes with, well, not 4 minifigs, three standard minifigs and then a Baby Groot fig. That's pretty cool, and I believe that this Baby Groot is indeed just exclusive to the set. The other Baby Groot we get, I think, is a different kind of Groot. These are the stickers, not too many. It also comes with one of these comic books, which, oh yeah, forgot that the Marvel and the DC guys come with comic books and stuff. This is, okay, I'm just flipping through it real quick so you can see just like what, you know, this is a standard comic book. I usually don't pay attention to these things very much. I focus on the LEGO. So anyways, 2 manuals. This first one is actually really small, or it's a bit thinner, a bit smaller, a bit lighter, and I have a feeling we're going to be building this smaller ship in this one. I just have a feeling. So let's get it open, and I can see from the manual that the very first fig is Aisha. We are building Aisha for her revenge. So it's all the bad guys coming in the first one. Booyah. All right, let's get this going through. And guys, by the way, I'm trying to get the, I want to get all the Guardians of the Galaxy set built by the end of this weekend. So today, Aisha's Revenge comes out for live stream. Tomorrow is a build for the Milano set, the new Milano set, and we're gonna have a comparison. In fact, the old Milano I liked so much. That's in our background and has been in our background of our normal sort of studio background. It's been there for probably, I don't know, a month or something. Ooh, nice. We get more of these gold pieces. We got these in Thanos, or Iron Man versus Thanos in the Mighty Micro set, which was a very unexpected, awesome piece, and it looks like we get more of them. Actually, you can see it from the production pictures now that I look at the manual. I just wasn't paying close enough attention the first time around. So it's nice that we get more of these parts. I think LEGO did a lot of production with these, so we might even see more of these gold curve pieces coming out in even more sets in the future, but that's nice that we're getting them now. And here we go. This looks like an actuator, or like a, you know, remote control thing that's gonna blow up a bomb. It's not a walkie-talkie or anything, but, you know, it's big and it's got a big switch, and it looks like it's gonna be attached to some sort of bomb. So Aisha's trying to get revenge, and I don't know who Aisha, oh, what? Yeah, this, okay, I'm gonna go close up on this guy later, but this is Baby Groot. It's not focusing that well. Don't worry, I'll zoom in at the end and I'll really give you guys a close look, but he looks awesome. Yeah, he's got little eyebrows printed on and everything, and you can see some really nice wood detailing, actually. He's cool looking. He can't hold anything, but you can fit a stud, of course, on the underside of him, so he fits onto something. Anyways, I'll zoom in really close at the end so you guys can get a really good look at what Baby Groot looks like. I thought they were gonna do a statuette version of him. Like that's sort of what I was hoping for. And then it looks like they kind of went above and beyond in terms of what the final product is for this figure. I really thought, I was like, oh, just make a statuette. You know how they did an Iron Man statuette or Captain America statuette for that big old Marvel set, the Ariel, that giant air base set. I thought they were going to do something like that, but they kind of made their own molds. They're just like, you know what, Baby Groot's cool enough, and I think they also thought he was going to be popular enough to the point where people were going to want his own special figure for him. And I think Baby Groot looks way better than normal size Groot in Lego. Normal Groot looks weird. This one actually looks more accurate to the character, but also just looks better. I mean, just the single stud guy. I think that looks pretty good. Let's see. Here we go. All right. And let's get this show on the road. Wow, this is a very quick sort of build. I'm not losing any of the parts yet. Let's see how long it takes for me to mess up the build. I usually, my thing is I always have a problem, like the first bit of Lego that I put on is always a mistake, and then I'll correct that immediately. But this very first piece that I put on was not a mistake. So there we go. That's me moving in the right direction. Yeah, this must be like, maybe she's got like a little drone robot that she controls. That's what I'm guessing. All right, yeah. And let's see. We make two side pieces that are exactly the same. Ooh, I like this light brown circle plate. It's not light brown. I don't know the name of the color, but I don't think we normally get that piece in this color. So that's nice. And, oh, same thing with the cheese wedge pieces that match up with it. Also, we don't get cheese wedge pieces in this color. Might be a first-time mold, I mean, for this particular color in this shape. But don't quote me, because I don't actually know. But it just looks, it's just something I haven't seen. So it looks like it could be. Sorry, if this is not directly into the build shot. Let me move that over. Move these pieces out of the way. All right. And it looks like, oh yeah, same thing with this piece. All this stuff, it really seems like, oh, this is kind of cool looking. I like the kind of shapes that this gold area makes up. So it's kind of offset, and then you add the blue in like that. Oh, I like this blue, and then it looks like you just cover it right up, so you can see just a little bit of the blue underneath. We do the same thing on the other side. Put the blue in. And then the gold around. Yeah, I like these gold pieces. Looks pretty good. But yeah, really stoked that we managed to get these Guardians of the Galaxy sets. Kind of, not out of nowhere, but like very, very unexpected. We got, by the way, I don't know if you guys know, but today, March 17th, is a huge release day for the LEGO stores in America, and that is part of why we got this. Huge release in America, so all of the Star Wars sets that we couldn't get, that Europe and other places around the world got, all of the winter Star Wars sets are now available here in the States, officially, which they weren't at LEGO stores before. And now, also just like some of the new Technic stuff is out, all the Minecraft stuff is out, which we got all of that stuff. So there are a lot of things that, what the heck, did I not put this in the correct way? I don't believe I did, because this looks a little bit off. Guys, I messed up. First mess up. Why does this, maybe I didn't mess up. Maybe I can fit it in here, and I'm just, hold on, let's see. Now these pieces are built correctly. I think I might have put the actual piece on here a little bit funky. Well, that looks right. That looks totally right. Why? Can I get this arm piece on and then put this piece on? No. Huh. This is supposed to be a really easy... What's the age recommendation on this? 7 to 14? Why am I not seeing the problem I made? Interesting. I'm looking at it, looking at it, looking at it, looking at it. And I still don't see why it's not fitting together. Interesting. Let's put that part back on. Let's look back at this one more time. Oh, I see what the problem is. Haha. Ah, I put, yeah. I don't know if you guys saw it. Haha, messed up. This little gray piece, or the sort of light brown piece that I liked. You just move it forward one stud, and I thought I'd messed up the base body, but I hadn't messed up the base body. I just messed up the outside paneling. It's called troubleshooting. Usually I can troubleshoot a little faster than that. Alright, here we go. Let's get these ones out. It looks like we're building a couple of these. Ah, okay, yeah. So we're building a couple of the second joints. It looks like this drone operation thingy is going to have a sort of opposable couple of arms. Not just the arm pieces, but they're going to maybe have hands. I have a feeling this is going to be... Maybe this has something to do with that bomb that we saw in the commercial. I think that might be the case. Not entirely sure, but I think so. Well, I don't know. There's so much stuff. It's all speculation right now. As of the moment of this live stream, the movie is not out yet. It actually, doesn't it come out this month? I think it does come out this month. Or maybe it's next month. Anyways, this is Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the Marvel movies that I look forward to more than most of the other ones. Actually, I enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy just a little bit more. Because it's such a fantastical, just kind of like almost silly or goofy sort of franchise that you can kind of have more fun with it, I think. They don't try to base it in reality as much. Here we go. Alright, so this is the back, so we've got some thrusters, and then we're also building some very tiny little purple thrusters that are gonna be fitting on tiny little posable directional thrusters with some purple sort of highlighting. Here we go. Oh, the movie comes out in May 5th. Sorry, way early on. Oh, I guess that makes sense. If the Guardians of the Galaxy sets are coming out now, usually, yeah, the toys come out several months before the movie. So, okay, May 5th is the official release date according to, well, everybody on the live stream chat. All right, well, we cleared that up. May 5th, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. That's actually kind of a while from now, but... You know, I guess they get started early. That looks good. I like that. You got two big thrusters on the top, a couple of smaller directional ones on the bottom. They're all posable, and the arm is pretty posable. I'm not actually done building this thing. There's one or two more steps. So yeah, it wants you to kind of have them directioned out. That's weird. Okay. It looks a little bit funny, the way it wants you to push these out, because there's detailing here, and then they want you to show this side. The underside, I don't really like the look of the arms that much, but I don't really know what this ship looks like in great detail. Not yet, at least. All right, look at this golds though. We got this is like the molded gold, and then this is like the painted on gold. There's a lot of gold pieces in this, which I wasn't expecting to see. You can't tell that easily from the picture, so that's kind of cool that we've got some gold stuff going on. And okay, of course, it's a playset, so here are the stud guns. And once again, I don't know exactly how good or bad these stud guns fit into the actual design of the ship from the movie. So I can't say like, oh, they stick out. They do stick out, but these might actually be similar shapes to the guns that exist for the bad guys in the actual film. I do not know though. I think you see these little drones for like a second in the trailer, like a split second, and I haven't gone through all of the footage, you know, painstakingly trying to figure out exactly what this is about. The guns are kind of oriented like this, and this is it. This is how it's supposed to fly around. It's actually okay. It's a kind of an okay looking ship. I think it looks. It's not wonderful, but it's a bit bigger than I thought from the. Here's Aisha. This is actually a bit bigger than I thought it was going to be from the initial build. And then this is, what is this? This is kind of like a little stand that we're building now. This is where Aisha is supposed to kind of be either hiding or something. I'm not entirely sure. It's just a bit of rock. It's a bit of land, so this is maybe an indication as to where the heck this scene is taking place. It looks like maybe a volcanic planet. I have no idea. It's all speculation right now. I mean, the colors are fine. I guess it's nice getting a few extra dark red and just normal red pieces. But for the most part, you know, these little it wants me to reorient the thing. That's what didn't understand what was going on. Here we go. Okay. But for the most part, when you get these little bits of land pieces, I always look at them and I say, okay, yeah, spare parts. You know, I always break these little things down quicker than the rest of other sets. Sometimes I'll break actual set vehicles down and other things, or eventually I break everything down. But these things almost immediately just kind of go into a parts bin. Not that I'm saying this is bad. I'm just saying that's just how I usually treat these land pieces. Here we go. Not too bad, though. I mean, it's a lot of nice little pieces, though. And this looks like we're putting that in there. And then we got a little pin. So this looks like an actuator. There's a switch that I'm able to... Okay. Oh, this is such a tiny little thing. Now, I have a feeling that if this is in the movie... Okay, so this is all it's supposed to do. So this is... Here we go. Let me show you. This is actually a very good angle to see what I just built. This is a push-button pin, and it's supposed to do that. It's fine. I mean, it works. Actually worked really, really well. To be perfectly honest, it's actually not a bad function. Kind of has a nice little pop feel to it when you do it. Just the thing is, it's so small. I mean, all right. I think we just got there. Now, oh wait a second. There is one more. What the heck? Wow. Okay, interesting. They messed up the. Okay, I've seen mess ups in manuals before, but okay, because I'm seeing some spare parts here. A spare part here. A spare part that we didn't use. We didn't use these pieces, right? We didn't use them, so we should, theoretically, if we had to use one of these, we'd have a spare, so this should be used, but it's not in the manual. But if you check out the picture, here, check this out. Sorry, if I'm slowing this down, but look at see that? There's a clip and a little yellow piece on the top, right? You see that? But if you go to the very last page, the very, very last page, here's the end of the manual, and then this is the very last step, and it doesn't show you putting that clip on. It's interesting. That's a mess up in the manual. According to the picture in the set, you're supposed to put this on and this clip piece on top of that. Or wait. Oh no, sorry. It was the clip first, and oh dang it, now they're stuck together. Yeah, it was the clip first, and then this red piece. So you put the clip. Interesting. I'm gonna do what the picture on the manual says, even though the manual itself doesn't have it. And then they don't have a second spare part for this black clip. So maybe that's why. Maybe they forgot to include a spare for this, and then they said, "Oh, like, you know what? Let's just cut this out of the manual because we didn't have a spare part in the bag for this piece." They only included one. I don't know. That's a fluke. That's a mess up, though. That is clearly a mess up. Get a couple of these spare shots for the stud guns. Anyways, I'm going to move all the spare parts off to the side, move it on over. So that's a mistake. It's not a big mistake. It's not. But now I want to see what this actuator looks like. Right? I want to see what that part looks like in the movie and be like, all right, did Lego make a mistake designing the thing? Maybe the look of that little bomb or mine or whatever the heck she's planted on the ground, maybe that changes and it doesn't actually look like that. And so I don't know. We'll find out if that was a production error or if it actually looks more accurate to how it's supposed to look in the movie once the movie comes out. Or maybe this is one of those sets where like the actual, the scene doesn't even happen. Because, you know, these guys, the Lego designers, get sort of set ideas or set designs way before the movie comes out, and then sometimes the movie cuts the entire scene, and then you have a set based on a scene that never even happened. So this could also be the case. But regardless, there was a tiny error in the first manual here. It's pretty rare. You don't see them very often, and I pretty much never report on it when you do find it. Oh, did somebody just send me something in the super chat? Hey, somebody sent me. Oh, Turtle Pebbles. Hey, you talked to us yesterday. How's it going? Things are going well, Turtle Pebbles. I think right now in San Diego we've got crazy wind. There's an actual wind warning right now, and you can't hear it because we're kind of deeper in our studio, but when I record in the other room, like my office that has the other big background and stuff, there's like a dumpster across the parking lot, way down, like 50 meters away, but the doors slam open and close with like the wind. So it's just like boom, boom, and it makes like this, you feel like you're in like a giant like Lord of the Rings dungeon and there's somebody banging on like a huge steel door. Anyways, by the way, as I'm talking, yeah, there's Star-Lord. I'm going to show you guys the detailing closer up when we get there at the end. This is cool though. I like the little build for the jetpack. Does he come with his... He doesn't have his mask in this one. I think he only comes with his Star-Lord, sort of signature face mask in the other Guardians of the Galaxy set, the Milano set, and that's a totally different kind of face mask. So this isn't an alternate headpiece, which is, I think, the first time. I think he came with an alternate headpiece in all of the other original Guardians of the Galaxy sets. But anyways, I'll show you a close look at what those minifigs look like at the end, because this is all about getting the build done. Ooh, this is a cool piece. I like these. All right. It's nice bright green in there. This is getting covered up. But yeah, things are going well here. Things are going swimmingly. We just got all of these brand new sets from the Lego store this morning. So, it always feels a little bit like Christmas when there's a big release day, So that's always nice. Yeah, sorry, I'm just messing around with something here. Okay. So we're doing pretty good. Oh, somebody else sent us another. I looked down for 1 second and then, what is my favorite song? Interesting question, Turtle Pip. Thank you. First of all, thank you guys for donating in the super chat. That is like a huge thing that helps like sustain us doing like live streams and stuff like that. But to answer the question, favorite song, that is tough. I used to be like, I feel like when you're younger, you're way more into music and stuff. I don't do as much like just downloading like album after album after album, which is a lot of what I did when I was younger. Favorite song, I might put it. It's one of those things where it's like favorite movie, and I have like 10 favorite movies from like each genre or something, and then you kind of have to just slowly but surely whittle things down. If I had what's a song that I probably have listened to the most? I think I've listened to Bohemian Rhapsody like just over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's like that's that massively popular, probably the biggest song that ever came from Queen. And my buddies and I back in high school, I don't know, we weren't trying to do it, but it just turned into this thing where all of us just listened to it so much to the point where we just knew all the words from it. If you guys ever watched the Wayne's World movie, if you're a bit younger, maybe Wayne's World is a movie that you guys haven't heard of. But there's this great scene when all the friends in the car are listening to Bohemian Rhapsody, and then they always get to this point where like you can't really understand what they're singing in the song, and everybody just kind of pretends to know the words, or they mumble it, they kind of hum it under their breath because they don't know. My friends and I, when we would listen, we knew all the words. We knew the words to that part of the song. We knew the words to everything. So that was, I would say, Bohemian Rhapsody. Mostly, well, A, it's a great song, but B, it's also a song that I think has fond memories. So I put that as my favorite song. Yeah, I'm pretty confident actually in saying that. Even though there's a million, like, you know, there's just a million awesome, great things out there to listen to. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get this thing out. All right, pushing this through. Okay. So this is all internal stuff. And building the internal parts, sorry, I keep on moving the thing over, but building the internal parts of these, is never quite as cool as when you start putting out the nice details, the nice colorful sort of armor details and stuff like that. Ooh, hey, I just saw this in the build yesterday. More of these 1x3 red plates. It's interesting when you see a part that's not that common come out for a brand new wave, and then you see that part come out again in another set in the same wave, and then you see the part come out again in a set from the same from another wave. And there you can kind of see just, you know, Lego, the factory that's making the parts, decided, okay, we're going to start producing a lot of these parts, and then they end up putting them in a bunch of the sets for that wave, because that's just how production works. So anyways, there's once again another part that's not common, is once again getting released very quickly right after you saw it right before in another set. So it's kind of nice when you see that. I suppose that's a good rule. When you see a new part or a rare piece come out in a set for a new set, you can expect to maybe see that part again very soon in another set. Usually, unless it's a very special kind of detailing piece that's used for a big, you know, not very easily accessible part or something like that. Most of the time, yeah, if you see something come out, boom, you're gonna see it again. Here we go. You like that Christmas music? Let's just see. Okay, I'm looking down again. Hold on. That is funny. Okay, I'm gonna change the music. Hold on, sorry. The build is on pause for just a second. Let me get back to. It's not that I got a thing against Christmas music. It's just not Christmas, you know. Like, I'm not gonna do one of those things where you whatchamacallit, where you play the music, you know, 3 months before the holiday or anything like that. And this is what, 9 months before the holiday, or 8? Oh wait, no, it's like 10. What am I talking about? So anyways, yeah, change the music. All right, let's get back to this. It looks like we're building all these weird internal stuff. I really do like the look of this ship on the outside, though, this kind of odd-looking pod ship. From the trailer, you can tell that there's gonna be, like, I don't know, 1,000 of these things or 10,000 of these things flying through the air. I'm pretty sure from that one scene in the trailer, you can see just like an endless sea of these ships. So I have a feeling they're gonna be pretty disposable. Probably a scene where they're kind of getting torn apart, or they're all chasing the Milano through some vortex or something like that. So they're not going to probably be considered like that cool as ships like within the universe. They're like very easily disposable, just kind of grunt bad guy ships. But I think individually, when you like a close look at one of them, actually looks kind of good. I'm always a fan of ships that look kind of just not traditionally like regular spaceships, where you got, you know, your sleek front nose of a cockpit and a couple of wings on the side. Basically a futuristic looking fighter jet. Those are cool ships, don't get me wrong. They can look really good, but they almost never are as interesting to look at when you've got something that's kind of like, oh, that's a weird sort of pod ship, or this, you know, the cockpit is on the inside of this big arcing circle and there's no wings, or, you know, because spaceships don't have to have wings. They can be way crazier looking. And I kind of prefer that, where you really get to play around or see somebody make a really cool or strange looking design. There's these sliders on the inside. There's these sliders, so there's definitely, I'm gonna say, escape hatch pod thing. Maybe a little speeder thing that's got a little jet. I have a feeling that that's what we're building right now. Oh, here we go. Actually, push this too far. Interesting. Oh, I keep on skipping steps, guys. I had to put a little bit of a red thing here, make that flush. Come on. Come on. There it goes. All right, let's get this show on the road. Push that forward. Push this forward. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. All right. Let me get that there. All right, that makes sense. So yeah, we have these sliders on the inside, and that means that sorry, I keep on checking things around on the live stream, but I'm guessing escape hatch. All right, moving down. Let's get some thrusters on there. Wow, this is a weird looking back. Hope that's not what the back looks like. I have a feeling they're gonna cover it up. Ooh, all right, we've got this little, I don't know what this piece is called. I like it though. It kind of reminds me of like the chamber to a revolver or something. I think it's a really useful piece. People use this in a really, really creative ways most of the time. There we go. Oh wow, and a classic old fire extinguisher. I like how you have this weird pod-looking ship, and then of course the inside of the pod is just like, oh yeah, and then you got your wrench and your fire extinguisher. You know, like, you know, ships from 100 years ago or 200 years ago. Pretty sure, maybe not 200, but yeah, it's just funny when you see that kind of stuff. Eons in the future, and they've got technology, you know, just so much more advanced than anything you could ever possibly imagine. And then, oh yeah, but you know, still got fire, still got a regular looking fire extinguisher. That's just how it is. Okay. Nice. Looks like we're building the outside pieces here, and then moving on to the other side. Same, but different. Okay. Let's get that in there. Oop, the other way. And we're just about to finish bag 2 and then move on to the final bag, bag 3. And so bag 3 should really just be all about putting nice, good details on here. Oh, wait a second. Do you see that? Okay. Let me get that right in the center. Pull it out. There's actually 2 of these things. So you put one on, and then you put another one on, and then you don't have that kind of silly looking thing there. There we go. So it's a little bit bigger, and this red piece doesn't stick out nearly as far. Actually, it shouldn't be sticking out at all. There we go. You can push it in. All right. And this looks like bag 3. Boom! And this is, okay, I like this. So the instruction manual here shows bag 3, and guess what we build, of course, as the last figure, bag 3. That is always, not always, but almost always the case when Lego thinks, when they've got a cool new figure, especially a figure that they know people are gonna like Yandu. I'm totally falling for this. I really wanted to build this set first because I really like Yandu, the character. I thought they should have included him in the first wave of Guardians of the Galaxy sets, but they didn't, and now they have. And they always, when they make a Lego set with a brand new, exciting character that they know people are gonna really like the minifig, they always put them in the last bag. So this was a 3-bag set, and there it is. Yandu comes in the 3rd bag. So you're like, ooh, I can't wait to open Yandu. Oh wait, he's not in bag 1. Okay, let me just build this, All right, oh, is he in bag 2? Okay, let me just build this, and then you get the payoff at the end. It's kind of nice, because you kind of are excited. You're like, you know, you're building, and then you're like, ooh, I can't wait to, all right. Look at this. All right, I'm gonna show it closer. That is a brand new, I'm pretty much gonna guarantee this is an exclusive to Yandu piece. Brand new mold. He's got a trans red mohawk, and it form fits around the shape of the minifigure head. I'm gonna show this much closer up. Don't worry, you guys are gonna get a much better look right at the end when I do the full review. The print for his chest, of course, is, hold on, let me just find his legs. I think they're just standard legs. No, he's got prints on, here. Okay, yeah, he's got prints for his legs that match up with the, what do they call them, the scavenger coats. So, yeah. And, all right, and look, you remember this piece? You remember this weapon? It doesn't look like it, but, I mean, it's just your standard spear point. You know, we got those in a lot of those old aquatic harpoon sets and stuff like that. But that's his arrow. That's his whistling. You know, like when he would kill those guys. Pretty much the most powerful weapon ever, and it's controlled by. It's got to be like magic or something. Anyways, that's Yandu. He looks good. I really like the expression for his face. He's got a lot of scars and cuts and wrinkles and whatever. You'll get a close look at that at the end. Yandu's cool. Very happy to get that guy. And you get a spare mohawk piece, by the way. So if you want to put a trans red mohawk on another fig, booyah, there it is. Or if you want to find out a cool creative way to use this as not a minifigure head accessory, you can also do that. So that's doubly good. That they actually, you know, usually you don't get a spare headpiece for a minifig. Like you don't get a second helmet or a second hair piece. But this time they included that. So that's a really nice feeling that they included. They made a brand new mold for a guy, exclusive to the guy, and then they said, hey, you know what? This is we'll give you a second one. So that's pretty cool. But it also makes me think that they might be intending to use this piece as something that's not just a head accessory. You might find this as detailing, you know, for another area, for something else. It could be detailing on a ship. It could be detailing for a structure in another set later down the line. Because maybe they're treating it as a single stud part. So therefore you would get just a spare piece. We will find out. We will find out. I knew that like Doctor Who, when that Doctor Who idea set came out, you got a second one of the, you know, the magical screwdriver, that Doctor Who instrument. You got a second one of those. So yeah, I don't know. That was just an exclusive accessory. So I don't know. We will find out what ends up being the case with that part. But that's really cool that we get a second one. Sorry, I keep on moving this over. I'll just move my seat over a little bit, and then it'll be more centered. All right, here we go. All right, and then we're gonna move these two parts together. Yes, we are. Looks like they're gonna be flush this way. Look at this. You know this is all gonna get hidden on the inside of the build. This is all just one big, massive. I mean, this looks like something I would have put together when I was really, really little, you know? Just like, oh, let's just get a bunch of random spare parts and just kind of throw it here and throw it there. Throw it here, throw it there. Yeah, look at all that. Look at all that. This is not, see, this is something that is not meant to be seen. And it looks like it's gonna go in this way. So we're sliding it in. Okay, it's really not, okay, yeah, let me get that. You have to get it through the, oh, wait a second, what? Oh, I see. Okay. It's so tight. It's so flush that I actually am pushing the Legos apart just a little bit just to get the corners in right off the bat. And then that's going to slide in. And then this one's got to match up. There's two different points of sliding in. But now that it's in, there it is. All right. So I thought this was going to be an escape thing. I thought this was going to be like a ship that we would fit in, like a tiny little 2x2 wide, just like speeder bike. But now that I think about it, you couldn't have fit a minifig on there unless it was wider. So I guess that doesn't actually make sense. So yeah, my theory was wrong and it was flawed from the beginning because it was never wide enough to be able to do that. But anyways, let's get this thing built through. All right. Hello. All right. Let's get this thing on. And remember, guys, I don't know if I'm gonna be reviewing it. Either I am or Mike is, but we're gonna have the Milano ship out as a full set review episode tomorrow, along with the news. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing the news tomorrow. Some cool stuff. There's some cool stuff around. I can say I can't post it on the news tomorrow because there's an embargo on the image. But I can tell you what the image is, and that is that whatchamacallit, the image for the Ultimate Collector Series Snowspeeder has been leaked. So, you know, I posted, I don't know, maybe a month ago that there was a rumor about it, like a very confident rumor. Jet is flying over, I don't know if you can hear that. It is like crazy. But anyways, there was a rumor a month ago, a very confident one about the release of the Snowspeeder, and everybody thinks it's the May 4th exclusive, which I still think is the case. Oh, interesting. Okay. So now there's an image of it. It's good. It looks good. People are comparing it. You can probably still find it on Reddit. If you go to like Lego Reddit forums, I don't know if the image has been taken down yet. Usually when there's a leaked image like that that's got a big set with an embargo on it, Lego's pretty good about making sure people take it down pretty quickly. But you can find it on Reddit if you do wanna look for it. I think it looks good. I think the main thing about it that I think looks better, the new Star Wars Ultimate Collector Series Snowspeeder, in case you're just tuning in. The thing that I think looks... Ooh, here we go. Wow, so this is all the internal stuff. We've been working on this. So there's a bit of tension here, and so you can kind of pull something out. I'm not exactly sure what this is supposed to do, but you can't pull it out of the ship anymore, so it's just like a punching mechanism at this point. But now we're putting this old bad boy on, so we're covering up most of this stuff now. And this is the same kind of piece on both sides. Let's see where it would go. Okay, it goes right on like that. There it is. I think that looks good. This has got to be a new mold for sure. Considering this is $30 and over 300 pieces, we get a lot of new big parts, and certainly in colors that we don't normally see. It's actually a really nice part-to-price ratio. And we also get a bunch of exclusive minifigs. Awesome. And new parts for the minifigs, also doubly awesome. I haven't talked much about this set, but it's actually doing really good. Okay, here are the stickers. They were upside down on this white thing here, and I was like, where did the stickers go? Okay, so let's get a couple of these sticker detailing things on here. This, I think, is a little bit unnecessary. It doesn't look that good, but and I also don't like these stickers. You don't have I guess you can't do it too incorrectly because there's no real place to like mess up, you know. It says just like put one on this area and then find the other one. I at least won't do it upside down. Okay, that's the proper one here. Okay, so some stickers, and then they want this one further back and just a little bit lower down, but you know, it's all to your own discretion. I'm gonna get it as close as they want me to put it in the manual, just so you guys can see what the true intention of the set is. And then we're going to build a couple of these things. Sorry, was I talking about a snowspeeder? Right. So there's a leaked image of the Ultimate Collector Series snowspeeder. By the way, they did make an Ultimate Collector Series snowspeeder a while ago. And so, you know, people are comparing the original UCS snowspeeder to this new one that's going to be out. And the new one's better. Of course it's better. They would not dream of releasing the same version of a set that is not improved. Oh, wait a second. The Death Star. Just kidding. The Death Star was, well, the Death Star, well, let's just, yeah, okay. So anyways, yeah, the Death Star wasn't that great. But the Ultimate Collector Series snowspeeder does look better. I especially think the detailing for, oops, I was supposed to put these on. The detailing for the front nose, they got the shape of the nose correct. Whereas the first one, they did not get the shape of the nose to look very good. So that's the best improvement, and also the interior sort of detailing for the engines look great. The two blasters on the side look good. But one thing that's really important is the not important, but the one thing about it that actually isn't totally accurate. What the heck? Okay. Oh, interesting. So this is kind of like a. It's like, this looks like it's going to be the seat for the pilot, and that's what kind of, you can pull it back. Anyways, okay. This is so far, this is as far open as you can push the windshield. I don't really like that much. I wish it was a little bit more posable, but I suppose if it looks, oh wait a second, I don't even think you're supposed to be able to open this. Oh, wait a second, that's actually really cool, never mind. Because, hold on, I'll just show you what I'm going to build next, and then I'll show you what you mean by this is really cool. Let's get this up. Let's get this up. And let's get... Okay, so we're covering this out. So now you can't even open it at all, which means you're not supposed to be able to open it. And this is why. This is how you're going to get your pilot in and out of the ship. Isn't that cool? I think that's really good. This might this might be the reason. This might be how they do it in the movie. This might be actually a function of the ship from the film that they then translated into Lego form. But that's nifty. That is like, you know, your standard opening and closing of a thing like that. That looks good. That's a good function. And it works really well. I like that. I like that you kind of have you have to stick it in with the pin right at the end, so you get a little bit of that snap and that tension. So you don't have this loose windshield piece that kind of wobbles around on the body. That's not what's happening. It looks and feels a lot better. Oh, wait a second. I don't need a 2x2. Let's get a couple of clips out there, and then another 1x3. Okay. So let's get some of the detailing done here. I have a feeling the rest of this build now is just all detailing. So let's get. Ugh. It's weird. These cover pieces though. There's a lot of like fitting pieces right under the lip of another piece. That was the case when putting this front part on, and that's what it is when you put that 1x3 at the bottom here. So there's kind of a tiny amount of dexterity required for putting on a few of these parts. A little bit more than maybe your standard Lego build. Not by much, but just getting pieces right under that lip is something that Lego usually avoids. It's not difficult. Anybody can do it, but here we go. That's not bad, and then it looks like, okay, we're still putting detailing on the front here. Okay, let's get this next piece on. So far, though, I'm really happy with the way this set is put together. The minifigs are great looking. Sorry, let me put that there. The minifigs are great looking, and then the detailing for this ship is pretty sweet. You know, there's sticker detailing here and there. I'm over complaining about, you know, what a sticker looks like or whether or not we should or shouldn't have them. They're a part of Lego, and for the most part, they do add an element of just something. They add as opposed to take away for most cases, and I think in this case it does add a little bit of nice features here and there. But anyways, the ship looks like it's constructed well. The pilot function is awesome. That's a really unique way. I don't even know if Lego's made a function like that with getting a minifigure in and out of a vehicle. If there is a vehicle function like that, somebody let me know, because that is, so far, I think it is totally unique just to this. All right, let's get the other sticker detailing on. I think it might have asked me earlier in the build, and I just skipped it. But let's put it on now. And this is supposed to be lower down, a little bit lower down. And make sure to put them right side up. These are just damage detailings. I'll show you closer at the end, but you know, it's just scrape marks and stuff like that. But it is important, I think, just to get it right side up. So make sure to at least look at the pictures there, and then they just kind of say put it on at your own discretion. So, okay. A little bit higher, lower, and then lower, higher on the other side, so they're kind of staggered. That's fine. That's what I would have done if I was putting stickers on. Okay. Let's get these parts on. Same, but different, just on the other side, so some more detailing. We got some clips in here, so I think this is how the door, or whatever the side hatch is going to end up attaching. It hasn't told me that yet, but that is just my personal thing. And then, right, you got to get this piece right under the lip, and then you kind of knock it in there. Another dark red 2x2 plate. Let's get this thing in. All right. So far, so good on this build, though, guys. I'm thoroughly enjoying this thing here. And hold on, let's get this up. And yeah, so anyways, the Snowspeeder that I was talking about earlier, the Ultimate Collector Series Snowspeeder, looks better. It looks better, but it... the main thing right now is I think everything about it is going to be a better build. Now all we have to do is see how much the darn thing costs, and see if it's actually worth it. The one awesome thing that I like is the Snowspeeder, just like the original Ultimate Collector Series Snowspeeder, the new one is larger than minifigure scale. Kind of like how the TIE Fighter that came out is larger than minifigure scale. Even though that one was kind of big enough where they did make a minifigure and a cockpit where that would hold the minifig, it's actually bigger than what it would have been if it was supposed to be scaled perfectly for a minifig. So this one is a bit larger than that, though, in terms of scaling. Like you can't just put a minifig in there and have it sort of look like it works. You would look like a tiny person inside, or you'd look like a child you know, inside the ship. So there's no minifigs included with the set, which is same with the original Ultimate Collector Series. So there we go. We've got the detailing on the front. And let's get this stuff in there. All right, yeah, this tiny little wing wedge piece. Okay. So yeah, the thing is gonna look good, and also I keep kind of distracting myself on what I was gonna say. Oh, this is nice. We get this in black now. This is a piece we don't normally get in black. And here we go. So that's gonna fit on, and I'm sure we're gonna do the opposite. Oh wait, no, we're not. So the front detailing is actually staggered. It's not exactly the same. Okay. So how's this gonna work? Okay, I see. So we're adding some nice detailing in the front. Is a searchlight, I'm gonna assume, and then something else. Some sensors, I think. All right, and here we go. We're beginning our descent. We're gonna add the side flaps, the side panels, and then the ship is probably gonna be totally complete after that. So we're gonna have a full look at the entire set. Remember, total set review at the end, total set review, and a closer look at these figs. The figs, I thought this was gonna be a set that relied sort of on the exclusivity of some really cool figures, but I'm pleasantly surprised with the build of the ship and with the parts that were included. So far I'm feeling really good about this whole thing. I just want to see what this whole thing looks like when it's done. So we make 2 of these. Of course, it's fitting into these clips on the side. And then, come on, buddy. There we go. And here we go. Let's get this thing in there. Somebody asked me, do I have a sister? I do not have a sister. I have 2 brothers. And I am the youngest of the 2 brothers. So that's me. You guys might know one of my brothers. He's level cap from his gaming channel, and he's also essentially the archetype of this channel. This channel was actually his idea, and he very much is involved with a lot of the stuff that goes on in the background. He does a lot of the designing for our Lego City, all that stuff. And then we have another brother. He's the middle brother who does editing and other things like that. Actually, also, the other brother, middle brother, he's also a huge Lego fanatic too. He's not living around us, but he's got like more collectible minifigs than we do, and he's really big into the ships. Whoa, here we go. This looks good. He's really big into the ships and like I'm talking about pirate ships and those giant flagships. I think he's got all of them. I'm not sure if he has all of them, but maybe all of them. How the heck? Oh, there we go, yeah. So that's nice. Yeah, you just pull this thing back here. This is looking nearly complete. I think, hold on. I'm building something else. What am I building? Oh, we're building, all the landing gear at the bottom. Okay, so this last piece here is just, so this is the main body of the ship, but there's actually a row of landing gear now. And so that's the last thing we're doing. So let's get it done, and then full review. But yeah, so there it is for the siblings question. Let me just look back at this. There we go. All right, here we go. Get this up there. All right. And let's see, let's get these parts done. This shouldn't take long. Move out of the way, I want to build in the center. Okay. Just a couple more minutes. All right, there it is. So yes, this looks like it's going to be matching up with the detailing in the front, if I had to guess. We can flip it over now. Nope, not yet. Add a couple of these little... I remember this was like my favorite part when I was a kid, because I just built spaceships and we had all these like ice planet sets. We had a ton of these. They just lined the bottoms of ships with skis and with these sort of smooth inverted 2x2 round pieces, and we had so many of them. So I was building just ships all the time, and it would just, like, I have a huge plate and just bam, 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 like the whole thing, and then you can slide them around on the carpet really easily. One of my favorite pieces actually to build with. because they also keep things looking nice on the underside of studs, and they make them strong. You can connect, you know, 2 plate pieces together or something at the bottom where you normally wouldn't have had a connection, and everything just feels a bit stronger. Cool. So let's get this in. Looks like these are the hover jet thingies. I don't know if you can even call them hover things. It looks like they're shooting out some sort of jet propulsion stuff. But there it is. All 6 of those. Flip them on over. So there we have our front area. And one of these, and there should be a second one of these. There should be another one of these. And it's like the last part in the whole... Really? Oh wait, no, there isn't a second one of these. Ha! I just assumed that there would have been. I keep expecting things to be symmetrical. Sorry, I keep expecting things to be symmetrical, and then they end up not being. Oh right, okay, that's why, because this is the pod that's going to hold a spring-loaded shot. Should I have loaded that yet? It always tells me not to. Until you're done building. You have to make sure not to accidentally shoot yourself in the face until you are finished building. Actually, don't shoot yourself into the face. No, don't actually shoot yourself with the spring-loaded shot. Just, okay, let's see. There we go. That's where this thing should be. Let's get this thing in there. Okay, gotta press it down, press it down, press it down. That's it. Boom. All right, we just finished. Cool. All right, so let me also show all the spare parts too. I'll bring those into the shot, and I'm gonna show all the minifigs and the functions of the thing. Actually, first let's show the minifigs first, because I think you guys have been waiting on that a little bit. And so let's do this. Okay, let me just... All right. Bam. Let me get back into this section so I can see just what you guys can see. And, all right, let's move it in. Move it in. All right. Let's see how good that looks. Hopefully it's not too dark. Sorry if it is. Starting off with Yandu, of course. I think he is the most sought after figure here. He's the most well-known of the characters that's new to LEGO, and here he is. Whoop, whoop. There he is. So the detailing on the front of him is pretty good. Look at that. He's got that long red trench coat. Look at that. Yeah, he's a lot of reflective detailing. You can see belts and chains and things and wrinkles. And his face, he's got some wrinkles there. And unfortunately in the camera, you can see it, but yeah, there it is. You can see it a little better. He's got some light blue scars. See that? Some light blue printing that make up the side of the head there. So some nice detailing. And let me turn it to the side so you can see there is here. Yeah. So there is his mohawk piece. You get a second one of those mohawk pieces as a spare part, which is really, really cool. Brand new mold. Only exists for this set, only exists for Yandu. I'm pretty sure. I really hope that is. I don't believe that they've made. I don't think this is a repurposed part. I think this is a brand new mold for Yandu. And he's got an A on his back. Or maybe, actually wait a second, sorry, no, that's not an A, it's just a strap. So the bottom part that is actually kind of detailing that shows that it's kind of clipped into something. But I really like that. You can even see the nice like sort of scaled rivets on the top of the shoulders there. Oh yeah, with the reflection. Anyways, great looking guy. He only has the single expression because of course he is bald with the mohawk, and this is his crazy whistling arrow weapon that is like way more powerful than any gun ever. That first scene, or that scene from the first movie when he just like takes out all of those alien soldiers like all at the same time, that was just ridiculous. Anyways, so it's Yandu, awesome character, one of my favorite characters from honestly like the Marvel universe. He's a really cool dude. And he looks good in LEGO. So really glad to have gotten a good version of this guy. Let's go to the other exclusive fig second. This is Aisha. The set's called Aisha's Revenge. But because the movie has not come out yet, she is I don't know much about her, and I'm sure a lot of you guys probably don't know much about her either. Maybe there's some weird information about, you can like look her up or something. Or if you know the actual comic book series, then maybe you'll know a lot more about her. But I don't know the comic books. I just like the movies. Hold on. Does she have an alternate expression? Yeah, she does. Oh, she does not look happy. Either her revenge is not working out very well, or she's just got some anger issues. Cool, though. I mean, it's like a female figure face that's got... It's all gold, really, I mean, like, that's a very useful part. Like, you can put this head onto some other gold minifigure bodies and stuff and do some really cool stuff. But she's got nice detailing to make up the suit, and there's printing on the back. Oh, sorry. There's printing on her back. I don't know if you guys saw that as well, but yeah, good. Looks good. This is her remote-controlled sort of bomb button, I'm guessing. I don't see what else it is, or if it could be something else. Good fig. Like it. These are the two exclusive ones. Actually, wait, no. I think this is also an exclusive Star-Lord. Here is Star-Lord, looking pretty good. Let me just show you. I'll take his. He's got his hair and he's got his couple expressions. I think this is new expressions for him. I don't know if this is. No, wait, no. This looks like the same head that we got from Star-Lord a couple years ago. It looks like the same exact one. I'm gonna take it off though, and I'm gonna take off his little jet pack. It's just made of binoculars, so you can see the detailing on his back. Might as well show it off. Not a whole lot going on there. How's the light look? Yeah, it's pretty similar to Yandu. Not the same print, but kind of similar. And that's the front of his jacket. And I'm gonna put the thing back on his neck, put his head back on, and of course he comes with those dual wielding pistols, which is the same as before. He came with in the last sets, and no printing for the legs. He's actually he's the simplest minifig from the set, that's for sure. Simplest guy, but he looks good, and he's got a different print, or he's got a totally different body for the second set that he comes out in the set with the Milano. But look at what we're looking at now. How close can I get before it zooms? Ooh, look at that. Baby Groot. So there he is. Okay, it's starting to go out of focus. Okay, that's pretty much as close as it's going to get. Pretty cool guy. So he's got the single stud at the bottom. And he's got the printing on his chest is kind of simplified, overly simplified. You can see that one big zipper, and then also that symbol on his chest that all the guys have. Nice printing for the face, and then there's even some like wood sort of bark detailing at the top by the spines on his head. Some detailing there, and then from the back, nothing in terms of printing aside from, you can see the red. And I thought he was going to have like baby minifig hands. You know how the baby fig has kind of like the indication that there's a hand there, but it can't really hold anything? He doesn't have that at all. It's just these open bits. And let's see. Let's experiment. Do we have a clip piece? I'm just curious. We got this clip piece. Can it clip into anything? Yes, it can. Sorry, you didn't see that. But anyways, let's move it back so it focuses. Yes, Baby Groot's hand can clip in. He can clip into something. So that's useful. I don't know if a baby fig hand can do that. So he can fit into a stud. You can stand him up, and he can be clipped into something to either look like he's holding something or something is holding onto him. So that's useful. By the way, I guess we're looking at this thing now. This is funny because the set's called Aisha's Revenge, and as far as I know, she's got this controller here, and she presses the button, and maybe this is a landmine. I'm not really sure. Maybe the button has something to do with this ship or something like that. But anyways, this is her tiny little explosion landmine thing. Let me put it down so you can see. Whoa, okay. Yeah, not too... it feels nice, like the push down feels nice. So this was also a mistake in the manual. Didn't say to put these last two pieces on, but the picture shows it. Came with some of the parts to do it, and not a spare part was missing. I don't know. Long story short, it might look a little different in the movie, or it might look a little different if you guys build it and follow the manual exactly and don't look at the picture. Anyways, let's zoom this thing back out so you can see what the heck these other ships look like. I'll zoom it out a little bit just to show you this guy. This is part of Aisha's Revenge. This looks like a ship that there's going to be a ton of. And this is the top, by the way. This is how it looks when it's right side up. It's not the windshield thing isn't on the other side. It might be hard to tell for some. You never really know. But this is actually what the top of the ship is supposed to look like, with the larger thrusters on the top and then these smaller purple thrusters on the bottom. It's a pretty nice build, though. We get more of these curved plate gold pieces that came out in that Iron Man versus Thanos Mighty Micro set. So that's cool. The parts look good. And we've got these, I don't know if you're noticing, but we have a lot of these nice sort of, I don't know what we call them, light azure blue or something. They just look turquoise sort of to me. Not quite turquoise, but yeah. So we've got some nice light blue highlights. They match up well with the trans blue windshield as well as the blue shots. So there's gold, and then the gold kind of mixes in with some of these lighter tans. And so I think this thing's supposed to look sort of gold or bronzy or something in the movie. And then there's an actual gold plated piece or painted or sprayed or whatever piece. This isn't molded gold, but it's got that nice extra bit of shiny. It looks more gold. This looks better than the mold gold. The pearl, what is this? Pearl gold? I think that's the name of the color. And then we've got these things are posable at the bottom. They don't look like anything. I don't know. I can't tell what they're supposed to be in the movie or in the show. But so it's hard for me to say what exactly how it's supposed to look or if they're really very accurate. I don't think they look that good, but I don't know. They're okay. So that's our bad guy vehicle. I think this is a drone that she's controlling. Actually, that would make more sense. It's also a gold controller, so maybe that's an indicator. She's also gold. What am I talking about? She's gold. Everything's gold. Bad guys are gold here. So let's get the actual ship. Boom. The big old one. Boom. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Let's get this. Whoop. Not zooming in. We're zooming out a little bit so you can see the whole thing. So let's. By the way, let's do this. Let's get Star-Lord in here. No, let's get Yandu in here. I think that's what Yandu is. I don't even think I need to take his arrow out of his hand. Let me put the ship down for a second. Now the greatest function, in fact, well, the only function aside from the spring-loaded shot is the way you get the pilot in and out, which is a very unique way. I think that actually is one of the nicer things because you don't really see Lego trying to reinvent the way you get a minifigure in and out of a vehicle very often. It's like, oh, fold the thing down, put them inside. Not this thing. You can't. It's got the hatch to, of course, keep it clipped in, but they intentionally block you off, and you can't. It's not supposed to open up bigger than this, and it's not supposed. You're not supposed to really mess with it. The way you get it in, you just put your thumb on the top. The whole top action slides right open, and there's a pin, so you can kind of have to pop it out. And let's see if it's easy to get him in. Yep, that was super easy. All right, so Yandu's on the inside, and then you can see him, and then you just push it forward. Oh, dang it! His arrow piece hit something. Can I get it out with the little, yeah. Okay, maybe if you're better at putting stuff in minifig hands, then maybe he can be holding the arrow as he's in the pilot seat. But I knocked it out when I put him in there. That looks good. You can really see the minifig there. There's no control console pieces. It would have been kind of cool if there were some little antenna pieces kind of sticking up for him to grab, or if they were resting there and you kind of push them forward towards the control pieces. But at least this way you can see the minifigure very well. There's a light and some sort of sensors on the front, and the bottom also has the spring-loaded shot. Well, spring-loaded shot, relatively highly exposed. You know, you tap that too hard and it goes shooting. Well, let's just shoot it. Might as well. They give you this spring-loaded shot for a reason, eh? Let's just shoot Aisha if we can. All right, ready, set, easy. All right. So the spring-loaded shot's kind of exposed. I do like it when they can hide that better, but not the end of the world. It's really low down. If it's really exposed and if it's like underneath the ship, it usually gets a pass in my book. The only problem is people will pick this up for the first time, and that's what I always do. I'm like, oh, cool, a new ship, and then you accidentally end up shooting the piece out, or somebody's looking at it and they're like, oh, this is so cool, and then they shoot themselves in the eye. So yeah, the shape of this ship, by the way, looks good, don't you think? I think it looks pretty good. Personally, I don't know if a lot of people might like it as much because the unique shape isn't as like grabbing. I think people don't look at it and say, oh, that's really cool, but I think it looks good. To be honest, it does kind of have a sub look to it. It looks more like a submarine than a spaceship. But altogether, it's pretty good. Sticker detailing to show the damage on the top. Let me just get, I think I've been taking a while. Ooh, sticker detailing here, so that's a sticker. That's a little bit of a covered up sticker. And then the same thing on the same thing there. So that's sticker detailing, as well as this is a sticker, and on the other side a sticker. But the two main things here, not a sticker. And I think anybody will agree they're pretty good prints, very detailed, and they put them on a nice big piece there. We got two of them, of course. They look pretty sweet, and I think, boom, there it is. So let me recap by saying this is a $30 set. It is 223 pieces, and we get four-ish. I mean, Baby Groot, he technically counts in minifigure form. I mean, this is the scaled form of the character. So this is, I mean, for argument's sake, let's just call him a minifigure now. Let me get Yandu out of here so you can get Yandu back in. Okay, come on, Yandu. All right. So we get, I think, a great build for a ship. It's not the most attractive ship, I think, for a lot of kids to like think of it as like a fun like war, play, swoosh ship. But it's super strong and it's well designed. Here we go. Let's get Yandu down here. So 4 exclusive figs. All of the guys in here are exclusive just to this set. At least the prints on him. Of course, Star-Lord, you can get him in other sets. He just doesn't look like this. We get a spare part of Yandu's mohawk, which is really good. We get another ship. Can I get all of this stuff even in the shot? Let's try to get everything in the shot as well as we can. So part to price ratio, good. It's slightly above average, but considering we get some nice new parts and 4 exclusive figs to come along with those parts, I would say that this is a pretty darn successful set. And to be perfectly honest, that's why I live streamed it. I was looking at it and I was like, okay, this one I think I'm going to be most confident in just liking a lot. These are all the spare parts. This is what you get. Quite a lot. And, right, those are the stickers out of there. So anyways, that's the whole set. I think it's a pretty good deal. I know I'm going to like this set more. I know I'm going to like it more than this one. I'm just not a big fan of the way that Ravager ship looks. I do love the minifigs in this set. But the Ravager and this thing, I don't know. Like I said, the land pieces don't really do it for me. So I think this is much cooler, in my personal opinion. But let me switch it back to this shot. And it looks like that is the end of the episode. If somebody was sent me something. Okay. All right. So that's the end of this review. I give this an above average score, better than the one that we built yesterday, and I actually did like that Ninjago set. I thought that was like pretty solid. So anyways, that is it, and I hope you guys enjoy live streaming with us. We try to do a live stream now. Actually, I'm saying now we're going to be live streaming same time every day during the weekdays, so Monday to Friday. So today, Friday, last live stream of the week, but you can tune in roughly 10:45, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are on the West Coast here in San Diego. And we just like building Legos, hanging out with you guys. And also remember, news is tomorrow. And this is tomorrow, the full review of this ship, the Milano. And we're going to be doing a comparison with the original Milano build that came out with the first wave of Guardians of the Galaxy sets. Well, that's the front of the box. That's actually been sitting in our background for a while. So anyways, really do hope that you guys check us out. You know, we really like love the support and everything. And I'll stick around in the comment section for a few minutes and hang out. But I really do have to record the news because I was kind of distracted and slacking off yesterday. So I have to do a lot more stuff for the news today. So I'll hang out in the comment section for like 5-10 minutes or something. And, all right, so that's it for the live stream, and thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.